It's your girl Shay, and I'm back with another episode of the ShayS Files. And I hope you guys are doing well this morning. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. And remember, you guys, to like, share, subscribe so I can keep putting out this great content and we can keep growing this channel together. And today, we're going to do a recap on the series and season finale of Outdaughtered. And also, we're going to be doing a recap on Doubling Down with the Derricos. So, first, let's start off with the Busbies on Outdaughtered. The family went to Disney World for a getaway, which looks so fun. I hope me and my family one day can go to Disney World. We haven't been yet. And they had so many cool rides. I liked the virtual video game one they did. That looked really fun. So if you've been watching Outdaughtered like I've been with the Busbies, you've seen how much Blake has grown up before our eyes. She's now 13 years old and she's getting that little sass that all teenagers get in that phase where she want to be by herself. She doesn't want to share things so much with her sisters all the time. And then, as usual, the Quints are growing up before our eyes. They're 9 now, and they still every trip find ways to procrastinate when it's time to go to bed. They always end up going to bed super later than they supposed to because they do everything in the world to not go to sleep. But to get started, as the episode goes, Adam gets a job offer from all the photographs he's been recording and taking for this new company he's been working for, this photography company, and they want to hire him to go out of town with them once a month for a week at a time to record more things for them. And I do appreciate because from last episode, as you know, they went to a couples retreat and they realized they needed to work on their communication. So this time around, instead of Adam making a choice to make a decision without including Danielle, he did this for the first time, realized that he needed to talk to her first. So he did pull her aside while the kids were eating dinner, and he talked to her about the fact that he got a job offer. And she did let him know that, well, we need to hire these two nannies because if we don't have help, there's no way he'll be able to leave a week out of each month. And they already have so much activities and things for the kids that they have to do as it is, and it's already stretched so thin, which is understandable. But basically, after a few hours of being at Disney, they end up getting a call back from the girl that they wanted to hire as their nanny. Well, both nannies, and both of the girls agreed to work together to help out around the house with the Quints. So that was nice. They were able to finally find nannies. I do hope that work out and that helps ease some of the chaos they have on an everyday basis. And I really hope that the nannies do the best they can for them and that they treat the girls well. I know Danielle said a big part is how the girls get along with the nannies, because if the girls don't get along or don't like them, then it's gonna still be definitely a problem, because if the kids don't connect with them the right way. So I guess we won't know till the new season comes back if things worked out well, or if we'll see posts about it on their YouTube channel at some point. And let's talk about the infamous Dale, you guys. If you know Outdaughtered, you know who Dale is. Danielle's sister husband. which I love how he is as a brother-in-law. He's very fun, the fun guy, the fun uncle as you call it. He's very kind with all the kids, including Hazel. Like, he always uplifted her spirits when it came to her condition with her eyes and stuff. He always made her feel, and I feel like he do that with all the Quints and the kids. And he's just so goofy. I just start laughing when he hugged Goofy, which is something you would expect from Dale to hug Goofy at Disney World, because that's how he is all the time. And I thought it was so sweet when they showed one of the Quints. I believe it was Ava, but I could be wrong because I'm still trying to figure out who's who sometimes. The only one that I know who is Hazel, and that's because she got like red orange hair, but the rest of them is blonde headed, so I get confused on who's who. But I believe it was Ava who they saw picking up a book on her own and started reading. And I saw how emotional Adam and Danielle got just looking at her from a distance, because the Quints are starting to kind of get into their own individual things. And as a parent, I can definitely relate when you see your kids. Hi, G Games. Good morning. We're catching up and doing a recap on Outdaughtered series on TLC, and also we're going to talk about doubling down with the Derricos in a little bit as well. But yeah, as I was saying, um, yeah, it's just nice to see your kids grow as their individuality comes out, seeing their dislikes, seeing them progress, whether it's in reading or whatever, seeing their traits come to life as individuals. And it's just a real beautiful thing to see your kids progress and grow. That's always a nice and comforting thing, because it makes you feel like as parents you accomplishing what you need to, and you're teaching your kids the best way you know how, and that those things you're teaching are rubbing off and they're learning and they're applying and taking action of the things you're teaching. So it's definitely a good feeling as a parent. Now, Danielle had a time when they were at Disney World where she was scared about getting on this ride, and she kind of had anxiety over it, but she did it anyway despite her kids. But she always make this comment, she said it again on this episode, where she doesn't want her kids to see her cry because she's not used to showing her emotion, because growing up, and her sisters mentioned this too, that they weren't used to talking out their emotions and saying how they feel. So because of that, she gets scared to show her emotions. Sometimes she feels sad. Now, I do understand, as a parent, we do tend to shield our kids, where we don't want them to see too much of things going on, like if we haven't disagreed with our spouse for a time or whatever the case may be. Now, I get those things. You want to be careful not to, expose them to too much of that. But when it comes to like having emotion or being scared of something, or maybe even having to cry because something bad happened, you just need to release your feelings. I think that's something important for our kids to know, because even though to a lot of our kids, they do see us as like the heroes to them, especially younger growing up, they see mom and dad as the everything, that they, get everything they need, and we do our best by them. But at the same time, we all are human. And I think by letting your kids know there's going to be different emotions. Sometimes mommy and daddy may be a little sad. Sometimes mommy and daddy may get a little upset about certain scenarios, and but it's okay to feel those emotions, because we were created with those emotions, but it's all in how you show, how you handle the emotions is what's important. It's not necessarily about it's wrong to have them. It's more so about how you control those emotions and making sure you don't overdo it. Like when you're angry, don't get so angry that you're screaming out the top of your lungs or you're punching things around the house. So I think it's important for your kids to know that as parents, we have the same different emotions that they have. It's just that we have to teach them how to, with those emotions, how to have self control with them too. And sometimes I'm not saying every day that we're gonna have self control, because we're gonna have our days where we just upset. But of course, the next time, of course, we want to kind of take some time for ourselves and kind of not, of course, don't want to expose our kids to that. But we definitely want to show that it's okay to have those different emotions, and it's nothing wrong to feel those things. It's just all about how you control those feelings. And there was a scene on Outdaughtered where Danielle was talking to her sisters, Kiki, and I can't never remember her other sister name. But yeah, she was just talking to them about how she went to the therapy session, but she was also saying that she did enjoy talking to the therapist and everything, but she said she felt like it was just talking. She don't really know how she got much out of it, even though she liked it, the therapist. Which, for one, I commend Danielle again. I think it's great that she's seeking therapy. I always feel like there's definitely nothing wrong with getting therapy, because I feel like it helps you to balance everything that you're trying to do in your life. So it's good to have that neutral person to talk to and to get your feelings out. And her sister did mention that, and that was a point she made that I agree with, that Danielle should continue the process of going to the therapist, because going to one session is not going to determine a difference or how it may have helped you. These are, when you go to therapy, and it's something I've done too, you kind of got to start from ground zero. So you start all the way from your childhood into adulthood. So they talk about things from like way, way as when you were a kid into as you up until now in this age, and how those whatever actions or things transpired there affected you now today. So it definitely is a process, and that's what her sisters were pointing out to her. And I thought that was beautiful in the end of it all, that both of them decided to say, well, if you like, we'll go with you so you don't feel so alone with, and we'll work it out together. And I love that, because the last episode, her sister Kiki wasn't so hung gore about her going to therapy. She kind of made her feel a little bad about suggesting therapy, saying for what and all that stuff. But sometimes with family and friends, sometimes they can say things that necessarily is not the nicest all the time, and sometimes you just kind of gotta overlook it. But I do appreciate that this time they came together to support her and let her know, like, I'm glad you're seeking therapy. I'm glad you acknowledge that you need the help, and that's the first step, to acknowledge that it's something you need to help you get through, like we all do, and that she's making an effort to do it. So that's a great thing. And yeah, so the night ended with them looking at the fireworks, and basically ending with another great season. I can look forward to seeing next season, on what happens, how it works out with the nannies and Adam's job, and Danielle, how much she may have progressed with therapy. I do hope she continues to do it. And yeah, so that was the season finale of Outdaughtered. So I look forward to doing reviews again on this um show once the new season starts back up, and I'm sure that's probably not going to be for a few months from now. So now we're getting into doubling down with the Derricos. Now this is the episode. Their season finale will be the next week, but this is the episode that came on this week, and I it started off with showing with Gigi, the grandmother. I just love his grandmother, how she is. She reminds me so much of my grandmother. She really loves her grandkids, and she loves spending time with all of her grandkids. And I just love the relationship she has with Darian. She always take the time to make sure, even though she shows love to all the grandkids, she always take a little bit of time to personalize her time with Darian. And that's what I really love too, because that always remind me of how it is with my grandma. She always took time out for each me and my sister personally, and helped and talked to us, and just, gave us a lot of wisdom. And that's something I feel is missing with some kids nowadays. They don't have that. All kids don't have that grandma granddaughter type relationship that a lot of us had back in the early 90s or early 2000s, where we actually sat down with our grandmas and did activities with them, or just watched a cooking show together, or just sitting cooking and she teaching you how to cook, and watching old movies, or just even just talking with your grandma about the old days and some of the stuff she did and younger and all those things. I always say when I'm talking to my friends or family, I feel like it's so many of our young kids that can benefit. Hello, Shaveria again. How are you doing? Just to get you up to speed, we're going over a recap of, well, I already talked about Outdaughtered, and now we're talking about doubling down with the Derricos episode that came on earlier this week. And I was just talking about how I love how Gigi has such a great relationship with all her grandkids, including Darian. I was just saying how that relationship remind me of how today is so many. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you? Yeah, I was just saying how I think a lot of our kids today do miss out on having that one-on-one connection with their grandmas. Now I know it's some that are able to be around their grandmas and they get that time, but it's a lot of kids I've talked to that don't unfortunately get that one-on-one time with their grandma, because you can learn so much from being around older um people. You can gain so much wisdom. So I definitely encourage that if anybody still has are able to talk to their grandmothers, it's definitely something you should cherish and take advantage of, because you can learn so much. I know I've learned so much and things I've took with me still that my grandma taught me, and I still do them till this day. But yeah, to get back to doubling down with the Derricos. So as you know, Gigi has been struggling a lot when it comes to her health. And lately, as she's been, since she stopped the chemotherapy, it's been more of a struggle. And lately, she hasn't been feeling the best. She doesn't know if it's just a side effect from the chemotherapy, or is it something going on again with the cancer, or if it may have came back. She did take an MRI, and she was waiting on the results, but they won't discuss the results until the season finale, which will be next week. And then they kind of got into Darian. So if you've been watching that, she's been kind of trying to decide if she want to go to college right now, or do she want to take a break for a year, or do she want to just work and do a job for a little bit. She been okay, Javeria. She's been trying to decide what she wants to do. And so she did attempt to go to NYU, and she auditioned, and I did not know Darian can sing that good. She has a beautiful, beautiful voice, like really beautiful voice. Yeah, but she auditioned for NYU, and it was encouraged by her mom. Her mom kind of pushed her in a sense, which I don't necessarily, when I look now, I don't necessarily feel like her mom pushed her to be controlling. I really see now from the other end of it, like any mother, when you see that your child is really good at something, you want them to really explore that talent and try to find a way to enjoy that, whatever that talent may be. So she was really just being supportive, as we are as parents, and really believing in her daughter and her talents, and she knew she has really good potential. So I think that was part of her motivation of why she wanted to push Darren to at least try. And so this episode, Darian did end up finding out how NYU felt about her audition. Now, she did also visit another campus that was closer to home, closer to Nevada. And she said she liked it, the school environment and everything. And it seemed like she really liked it, the school, because she even got on stage and started singing just to see how it felt. So it seemed like she liked it at school, but her mind was more towards NYU because that's was her dream school. So she ended up getting a response from the school. And unfortunately, they didn't accept her this year, and she was really bummed out and just was really sad and started crying. And I do love how her dad just came and consoled her, and her mom, how much she consoled her. And I like the fact what she told her. She said the most important thing is that you did your best you could at that audition, and one letter doesn't determine your talent. Just because this one person said, oh, you're not accepted to our school, that don't mean you was a waste. You try, and that was the most important. And I appreciate that, because sometimes you may have parents that when you don't get the answer you wanted, they kind of make you feel worse by saying, oh, well, you needed to try harder. Maybe just point out things are the wrong to faults, when they should have said, okay, you put your best foot forward. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but you don't let that stop you. You continue to try. You don't give up. And it's like the look on Darian's face, it really looked like she like over it. And then she did say, like, I feel like I'm not good enough. And then Gigi made the comment, because she was there as well, and she's like, at the same time, this is something Darian is going to have to learn as an adult and as she get older, because in life you're not going to always get the things you want to have, and you're going to have disappointments, but the disappointments is also what makes you stronger and makes you want to continue to do your best and try to find a different way of getting, accomplishing the things you have. But a no doesn't mean, it's done for. And the trials is what makes us end up finding joy. So no matter how bad it may look now, you don't know how the other end that is going to go, as long as you continue to put your best foot forward. And also, I wanted to mention with Gigi's health, Yeah, I really felt what she was saying last night on the episode, how she have her bad days and good days, and how much she wants to really be here as long as she can for her grandkids. But it just really hit home because I lost my mom, now will be 5 years ago, in July, which is coming up. And lately watching Doubling Down with Derrico's and seeing Gigi go through her health and everything, it made me think about my mom, because my mom had kidney failure from having being born with weak kidneys. So she unfortunately had been on dialysis for a majority of her life. So it was definitely a struggle, and I think about so many people in the world today that go through that, either whether it's chemotherapy or having a parent who's on dialysis or something like that. And having a sick parents can be hard on any kid. You worry about them constantly. It definitely not only take a toll physically on the person who's sick, but it emotionally and physically take a toll on the people around them that's trying to do their best to be there and help them. So yeah, that's definitely a struggle, and it's, I feel so bad that they all have to endure that and go through that. That's just a lot on anyone. And then they go into the scene where the Ricos finally moved into their new house, which they kind of didn't have no choice because they had new renters for the old house, so they had to go in and move in the house and everything, the new place. And I saw Karen. I guess she may have baked some cookies, and I guess she's not the best baker in the world. And Dion made the comment like, "We're trying to welcome the neighbors. We're not trying to scare them," because he was talking about her cookies. But she was just like, she just kind of laughed it off. But I thought that was funny that he was just talking about, I hope the neighbors don't be scared off from meeting us because of your cookies. So I thought that was like funny to me. So yeah. And then the twins, I can't never remember what the twins' name are on there. I don't want to say Diver. It might have been Diver and Diaz. It might have been, but I could be wrong about that. But they were just talking about if they had a party, what would they do? And they said something about like, oh, I have girls there with bikinis on, and I'm like, see, that's exactly the reason why being a kid don't have no business being dating or having a love life, because you don't even know what you're looking for. All you do is look for what you think the ideal woman or how she look. You don't know to look at the inner person and the personality of that person and what their spiritual thoughts are. Like, that's the things that are important, and you don't understand that as a teenager. And that's exactly why being a teenager and dating don't mix at all. You need to definitely use that time to learn and learn life before you can start talking about dating and all that. And I enjoyed also when they were getting ready to have a barbecue to welcome the neighbors, how Dion had the kids help him prepare the what up dough beans, as he called it, his mom recipe that she made every time they had a barbecue or a cookout. And it's called What Up Dough Beans from Detroit. So yeah, but I thought it was nice that he had all the kids help him with the recipe. And that's another thing, like I said, when you're either with your parents or your grandma, it's nice to take some time and prepare a meal together sometimes. That's another time you can talk to your kids, and not only talk to your kids, you also are teaching them a skill that they could keep for a lifetime. So even if not all the time, it is a good idea to, sometimes get together with your kids. And it don't have to be a big meal you help prepare. It can be as little as just baking cookies, or making a box cake. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't have to be a major thing, but just spending that quality time with your kids, doing the littlest thing, you'll be surprised. That really goes a long way. And then I saw towards the end of the episode where I'm guessing Darian is still dealing with the blow of not getting into NYU. And they were having their barbecue, and one of the neighbors came over and was just asking, "Oh, all right, did you look at any colleges yet? This and the third." And then Darian kind of made the comment like, "Oh, well, I don't know if I'm gonna go to college now." So she's basically going through the stages because she got disappointed. So it's like she want to give up. And I remember Dion and Karen saying we're definitely going to talk about this in private, which I appreciate. They didn't do that on camera or in front of everybody, that they know it was something they needed to do off camera as a family, which I do appreciate. But the thing is, I hope that once they talk to her, that she sees she can't just give up off of just one person. I do understand that it's a blow when you get disappointed, but you don't want that disappointment to change your whole thinking of what you want. If you want something, you gonna, like Aaliyah said on her song "Try Again." If at first you don't succeed, get back up and try again. You gotta keep trying if you want to achieve something. Nothing that really means a lot to you don't come unless there's hard work involved. You gotta work hard for the things that mean something to you. And in the next episode of Doubling Down with the Derricos that's coming up on the season finale next week, they showed a snippet of Darian saying, "This is crazy. I'm really looking forward to see how her parents figure this out." Where she comes out of nowhere and says, "I don't want to go to college," which I was thinking about too. She said, because she made the comment on the next episode that she don't want to go to college, she just want to do social media and just do gigs right now and put college on hold. Now, I do understand going to a university is not necessarily for everyone, but I do encourage that once a child gets old enough, they do need to at least get a trade of some sort, whether it's like a 6 month program or something. So in case the social media thing don't work out, or in case you get tired of doing that, you have something backup of that you can support yourself. And it's crazy that she said this and then follows the line that she wants to move out. She want to have her own place. And I'm like, girl, you barely just bit the dust. You just only been 18 for only so long, and you think you ready to have bills in the house already at 18. I mean, I know I've heard some old sayings where some parents believe once the child hit 18, yeah, they should go and move out and see how it is. But me personally, I feel like me and my husband, we agreed with our daughter that she can stay home past 18. Now, at some point in her 20s and stuff, by her 20s, I want her to being able to, have a stable job, have something that she trained herself in school so that she can be able to provide herself and get a place. But I don't want her to rush too fast, not necessarily because we're scared for her to, because that's why we're preparing her now to teach her what she needs to do. It's not that. It's the fact that once you start working, once you really get out there, there's no going back after that. And things are expensive now, and our daughter is not even an adult yet. So I could just imagine how expensive things will be in a few years. So it's definitely not something you want to jump into so fast, especially if you don't have to. Now, I do understand it's probably chaotic for Darian because she got so many siblings that she has to live with. But still, jumping from I don't I don't know what I'm gonna do with college yet, but you sure you want to move out on your own? Like, that's crazy, and I'm just wondering how this is gonna be handled. With I don't feel like she's ready just yet to be out on her own. Now, maybe them making a little apartment for her. Probably they have a little room in the house where she can have like a little garage apartment to get a trial run and probably work and pay a little rent or something like that. That's something I would do if she feels she needs a little space in that, if they can do that. Because I even know friends who have like a little basement apartment that they rent out to their kids. So it's like they have an apartment without necessarily, having to move into a place. But yeah, so we're definitely going to see how this pan out overall with Darian and with Gigi and the whole Derrico family, and see how this season finale definitely goes. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on both Outdaughtered and Doubling Down with the Derricos. I hope you guys have enjoyed these recaps and reviews on these shows. I will be doing more shows as they come. I do plan on doing reviews on the Braxton families next. Because as you know, Our Daughter and Doubling Down with the Derricos are ending for the time being. So, Our Daughter has already ended until the next season, and next week will be the last episode of Doubling Down with the Derricos, and I don't know if they're coming back or not with the divorce and everything. So I don't know how they're gonna pan that out, or if they're still gonna record um with being divorced. I don't know what the plans are with that. But yeah, I'll know, I guess, soon enough what TLC plan on doing with their show. But yeah, so the next show I will be discussing, I plan on making lives and recaps about next, will be the Braxtons. And I believe the show will be coming on. I think I saw either the end of this month or sometime in July. It could even been August. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to double check again, but I know it's before the summer. I'm pretty sure it's before the summer out. And then I'm also planning on doing reviews, hopefully, on the Wayne brothers' new show. Damon and his son got a show starting in September, but that'll be a whiles away. But I know the next one for sure soon I will start doing reviews on the Braxton's new show, and we'll talk about that too. So, again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm so happy you joined me in talking about these two shows. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying my content. I thank you so much for all your likes, subscribes, and views. Please help me to continue to grow this channel. We're almost to 500 subscribers. I would love to keep it going and get my subscribers up as much as possible. So definitely you guys keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep liking so I can continue to put out the best content possible. And again, continue to be safe out there. You guys have a great day and peace. I will see you guys next episode of ShayS Relationship Files. Have a great day again. Bye.